have to tell you a short story, but there's a point. I promise. There's a point of discussion about it.
Okay.
It's happened to me a week ago or so at the time of recording. It was basically a sexual situation where it was me and this dog boy, friend of the show, fellow meme creator. You know who I'm talking about. It's not you. It's another dog boy.
I know.
And we were basically like joint subbing for a doll that was kind of like, we're kind of doing like an owner pet play kind of thing. And she was like joint owner for both of us. And it was fun. I've been in that situation plenty of times before. It was cute. But like she had the ambition to make this puppy boy who's just like me, you know, like very submissive, very bottomy. Like he was basically like executing her commands, you know? Like he was doing the physical manifestations of her like doming ideas, whether it was like biting me or like hitting me or whatever. It was just the owner girl giving commands to the puppy boy to basically like dom me by proxy. And it made me think about the way that people
that's outsourcing.
Sort of outsourcing, but we all thought it was really hot, and I still think it's really hot, but it got me thinking about the people who can only really sub, which is kind of me for the most part, and the difference between whether your holdup is with like the physical execution side of it or the mental control and creativity of it. Because in that moment, it was like the girl that was our owner was still doming. She was coming up with all the ideas and she was controlling everything. All she was outsourcing was the physical execution of the ideas. And this boy that I had only ever seen be really subby was all of a sudden comfortable, I'll say, getting into like physically doming and distributing sort of pain and commands and stuff. And I thought that was really interesting to me because it was like, okay, so for him, what's preventing him from being a dom is the mental side of things, you know, the control and the creativity and like leading, because he's capable of doing all the physical things. And I was curious if like, you know, you're averse ostensibly, like anytime you get put in that situation where you're doming, like do you feel that separation? Is there one part of that comes naturally to you and another that doesn't, or do you just not think of it like that?
Well, it's always a mental holdup, isn't it? Between like you really putting your all into doming or subbing. Like physically you can do anything, right? Like their physicality is there.
But I'm sure there are some people out there who can't make themselves like physically hurt someone in a dommy sense, you know?
But isn't that a mental thing?
Yeah, it's not so much the mental physical dynamic as it is like, is the holdup with being with leadership in the sense that you're driving the interaction, or is the holdup with the actual execution of your ideas? Because like when you look at someone who's really into like soft doming and they're not really hurting you like that, they're pretty much leaning entirely into that side of the mental and the creativity. And then there's also doms who, you know, barely even talk to you that much and just come in and cause chaos and cause harm and are really good at executing the actual physicality of it, you know? And like, I think in my case, personally, I have a ton of ideas for doming and I know what I would do in a doming situation. And then there's a sub in front of me and I'm like, I don't have the like control and the focus to like physically manifest and see all of my thoughts through. Like I just don't have it in me. Like my problem is not the leadership and the creativity. It's the actual execution that's in the way of me doming.
Well, I've seen you like gentle dom before. So,
I think I can do that, yeah.
So maybe with you it is the physical execution part. Like you're not really, I feel like you don't really hit bitches that much.
Yeah, like I'm not out here just like pummeling puppy girls or anything.
Do you think it's a gender thing? Like, you're so femme, like, I don't know. Maybe it's like
It could have a little something to do with it.
you're not really, beating girls up. I feel like, I don't know, maybe it's like almost a butchier thing to do that.
Do you feel like you're the opposite? Do you feel like the execution comes easier than the conceptualization for you?
No, I think they're both difficult for me.
That's funny because I feel like I'm a lot closer to a pure sub bottom than you.
Yeah, like, I think I'm good at topping, like, strap-wise, but I'm not good at, like, pain doming.
Are you good at like coming up with stuff for a sub to do and say?
No, I just fuck them.
Simple. I like that.
like I was telling you, like, the other week, or not even, it was this week, like, the way I top is like I get my dick sucked and leave.
Right. Hit it and quit it.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like a straight guy way of doing it.
That's gender affirming, I think.
Yeah.
You were in that most recent group sex situation.
I got my dick sucked and left.
Definitely in and out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you were wrapped up before most of us were even really getting started. That's awesome.
Well, it's also like, I feel like my libido is low. Like, it's kind of low. I just, like, I do what I gotta do, and I get out.
Get in and get out. Easy peasy. Get what you need. That's fucking awesome. But do you agree with me that there kind of is that, like, does what I'm saying make sense?
Yeah. It's just like, I think I am kind of bad at both of those things. Yet, I don't know. It's like, I think I'm good at, like, the sex part.
Right. Like, word on the street is that you're pretty good with the strap.
Yeah, I guess.
And that you're, like, out here face fucking bitches with the T-dig. So, like...
To the best of my ability.
Which I've heard goes quite a long ways. Welcome to episode 18 of Brain Frot, Lex.
Thanks, Lavender.
Introduce each other for a change. Pride Month edition. It's June.
As of the time of the recording.
Here in these old United States of America. God forbid there's plenty of June left. This should get out well in front of the end of June. Hopefully, my God.
A Pride Month finale.
It's been, we won't talk about it in detail, but it's been a kind of turbulent Pride Month for society, which is unfortunate. You know, we're in Los Angeles, which is kind of in the flashpoint of a lot of things recently. But within the specter of how turbulent of a Pride Month it has been, we've still been pretty LGBT with it, you know? We've still been getting up to a lot of Pride Month stuff.
Yeah.
Do you have any highlights?
And Trans Pride was cool. Yeah, I was there for not that long, but every time we go, they give you free drinks. And
love the free drinks.
You get really wasted.
Best part of Trans Pride is getting wasted on a rooftop with a bunch of transsexuals.
I wanted to talk about the upcoming event.
Subculture.
Yeah,
Woo!
Subculture Pride, where Hannah Diamond is performing.
In a couple days, we're about to go to the Subculture Pride for this year, featuring Miss Hannah Diamond, who we love,
and
Miss Cortez Star, who we love,
Kitty from
and
the Pom Poms. Yeah,
Kitty and Sam Ray of Teen Suicide fame. Their project, the Pom Poms, which low key is the best subculture lineup I've seen in a really long time.
Yeah, they kind of turned it out.
I'm like actually genuinely really excited to see all three of those artists. Hopefully they're not overlapping. But you had one specific thing that you wanted to talk about. with those
Yeah.
artists.
Well, I wanted to talk about why it seems like Hannah Diamond is an icon for trans women and like cracks their egg, because I know of at least 2 trans girls who like will attribute their transgenderness to Hannah Diamond.
Yeah, and there's certainly plenty more. So just as short an introduction as possible, if you're not familiar with Hannah Diamond, a signee of PC Music label, which is the sort of brainchild of A.G. Cook, producer, worked with Charlie XCX, Sophie, many others. Really forward-thinking, interesting pop label from the 2010s that spawned GFOTY and Danielle Harrell. And I would say their flagship artist, or the closest thing they have to a flagship artist, is Hannah Diamond, who makes a kind of old-fashioned, formulaic, early 2000s, but with a little bit of the glitz and glamour done up, very girlish electropop music. Songs like High that have become really, really popular for a lot of people. Her newest album, that song Affirmations, the lead single, kind of an anthem for a lot of trans girls too, and a banger in my opinion. I love that song. So before I yap, do you have thoughts on why she's so compelling to trans women and why she cracks their eggs?
Well, I think there's something about her voice that is so hyper feminine. Like, she's so like cutesy, and like her voice is so like, you know, pitched up that it's almost like a caricature of femininity that I think appeals to dolls. And like, I don't know, she's so cutesy with her like pigtails or whatever she's got. Like, I don't know that anything she's ever explicitly done anything like trans. She has that song Pink and Blue.
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up too. One of her first singles is called Pink and Blue. It's not about being trans, but it's about gender. Mm-hmm. You know, it's about a relationship, a straight relationship, albeit, but one where pink and blue are sort of representing their fundamental gender binary colors. Not that you couldn't very easily make that a straight T for T anthem.
Right.
But I don't think it's explicitly trans. She's cis, by the way. Hannah Diamond's a cis
yeah,
woman.
She's a cis
Important
woman.
to note.
That's kind of why, to me, it's a bit confounding that she's cracking girls' eggs like that.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like you kind of hit on something that she is almost a caricature. You know, this just absolute, almost like uncanny valley levels of like dollified.
Yeah, she's very doll-like
femininity.
Mm-hmm.
Like dollified in the literal sense, not like transgenderified. Like she's very dollish, like baby dollish. Yeah, the vocal effects that give her this like super duper effeminate tenor and just the absolutely sugary sweetness, you know, just the sickeningly sweet,
just like the
attitude of her songs.
Yeah, the content of her lyrics are very just like teen girl bedroom type.
I think it's a vision of girlishness that is really, it's so obvious, it's so loud, it's so unwaveringly and sort of unbreakingly feminine and effeminate that it's like it just projects femininity in a absolutely maximal way. And so when you see that, especially if you're like an egg early in your transition, you're like, this is what sort of unbridled, unhinged femininity looks like unleashed in its purest format. And sometimes you see that and go, oh shit, I like actually do want that. It's like the farthest thing I can be from like masculinity. And if you're experiencing eggish dysphoria, you kind of see Hannah Diamond as like maybe an end game.
Right. That's what I was kind of thinking as well.
I think that makes sense. I mean, you kind of talk about this as if it's like very confounding, but I think there's a couple things to it. Like, she's affiliated with a label that hosts a ton of queer artists like Sophie and GFOTY, and is affiliated, AG Cook's affiliated with Charlie XCX, and they make hyperpop, and Dorian Electra's in the scene. How many famous like queer and trans people are in the scene? So like Hannah Diamond is a cis woman, but she's getting exposed in the same lens as a bunch of queer artists to a bunch of queer fans.
Yeah, it's just like her in particular with trans women is like notable, like even more so than the other PC music artists. Like if I were to say like Charlie XCX, she's like for the gay guys, right?
Yeah.
And then like who like
GFOTY.
Who's GFOTY for? Like the sluts?
Cis lesbians.
Right.
Danielle Harrell.
Who's Danielle Harrell for?
Probably like they fabs. The Dorian Electra crowd.
Right.
So follow-up question. What are you wearing to Subculture? Or at least what is this sort of, are you gonna go for like a non-binary little guy kind of look, or are you gonna try to femme it up a little bit, be fruity with it?
I hadn't even started thinking about it, but I think I would want to do something more flashy femme.
It is Subculture, and the fits matter. Like, fit culture is big at Subculture. In fact, I'm going shopping in advance of Subculture to try and find something cute and striking to wear for the first time for the Subculture.
I think I might wear my clear vinyl chest harness with the gold rings, because that's like flashy, and like I can wear that with like anything.
Love that thing.
Yeah. And it's like, you know how usually when people wear harnesses, they're like those leather harnesses, and it's very like BDSM type.
Mm-hmm.
But this harness is like more fashion, ethereal, like, it's like it has a lighter vibe than like the leather harnesses.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of like, I want to mimic the like lightness of Hannah Diamond.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know this is just because it's about to be summer, but I kind of almost want to go with a sort of like Katy Perry California Girls type look for it. Like when I go out shopping, I'm going to look for like the like shortest pair of like jean shorts that I can find, preferably in like a pastel color or something. Like the dream fit, I don't know if I'll find it, but the dream fit I'm imagining in my head starts with the shorts or like the mini skirt from the like imagine having a dick small enough to fit in this meme.
Yeah.
Like that's my start point. I want to find something like that skimpy. And then sort of build around that. We'll see if it works. If you follow us on social media, you'll probably see these fits before this podcast comes out.
I'm thinking maybe of wearing like my little mini skirt, because like that's very Hannah Diamond vibes.
Definitely.
But
I mean, she's one of her signature looks is that little pink plaid, like, or not plaid, like that kind of pleated pink mini skirt.
Right.
Yeah.
But if I feel like if I wear like my little mini skirt and I'm trying to go for a femme Hannah Diamond-esque look, I have to shave my legs because they're very hairy.
I see there's something a little subversive to the high femme fit and the hairy legs, but also if the aesthetic you're going for is that sort of surreal, dollified high femme, then yeah, I guess you would shave your legs.
Mm-hmm.
But, there's always something a little bit cool and compelling about seeing someone just blatantly, outwardly cut gendered norms and expectations, subverting them on purpose. So, like, the hairy legs under the miniskirt could go a little hard.
It could. I kind of wish I could groom the hair like to be kind of like wavy or something.
That would go hard.
Yeah.
Anything else on Subculture?
I'm
excited to see Corteza, only because like I think she's kind of iconic.
Yeah, she's trans.
Yeah, kind of instantly iconic in the way that like her words, mind you, I'm not calling her chopped, but this video came out of her freestyling that went viral because it's very divisive. Some people love it, some people hate it. She's talking about how she allegedly looks chopped in the video, and that goes viral because it's very funny. And now she's like, I think she's like 19 or 20. She's like this super young rapper thrust into fame. She's like modeling to kind of a crazy like overnight success story. She dropped a mixtape last month or this month even, maybe, that I think is okay. But more, I like her attitude. I like the way that she's handled, being famous overnight so far. And so I'm really excited to see her.
Yeah. What about like other trans artists we've seen or listened to recently?
Yeah, just a quick, trans music recap roundup.
Yeah.
I can yap for a little. Friend of the show. No, I can't say that. My friend Jasmine Forti, dropped her debut earlier this year on Phoebe Bridgers' Satisfactory label. She's touring all year long. Got the chance to see her open for Lucy Dacus. It was amazing. Get to see her when she plays it again in LA later this year. Highly recommended. Sapphic singer-songwriter music. Very sad, very heartbreaking, but she has a really gentle, beautiful poise to her voice. If the Phoebe Bridgers, Lucy Dacus kind of sapphic singer-songwriter music is for you, check out Jasmine Forti.
Is the 4T like T for T, or is it that like not? Is it like a different
believe
thing?
so, yes, which is awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I like that a lot. Backwash, Canadian trans horrorcore and metal rapper Backwash, dropped an album this year. It rips. Lighter than some of her previous records. Definitely still like a heavy rock influence, but less metal, less screaming, a little bit less brooding and intense, but I still like it. She still has a lot to say. Source of Dream, self-titled, like that record a lot. Wizard Sleaze had the delightful honor of interviewing Catherine of Source of Dream fame for Ringtone magazine earlier this year about that record and seeing her play it live. And it kicks ass. It's a lot of fun. I'll let you talk about Jennifer if you want to.
Oh yeah. I did listen to the new Jennifer album, and I usually don't like T-boy music, and I know that there is both a trans girl and a trans guy in this band, but the overall sound of the music, I believe, is T-boy music, which is okay. I
like that. I like that.
Yeah, I really like the song "Old Grimes" that you also really like.
Yeah, that's been one of my favorite songs of the year so far, low key.
You said that it kind of has both like T-girl and T-boy sounds in that song.
Yeah, compositionally it kind of switches between this more brooding post-punk that has a little bit of a tongue-in-cheek edge to it and this really frilly kind of indie poppy, jangle poppy side that reminds me much more of the kind of rusticness of a lot of T-boy music. So it's like both T-boy and T-girl music in one song, which I think is cool. And it's also just fucking hilarious from start to finish. Love that track.
We saw Jane Remover together.
Yeah, if we're gonna go down the NB route, Jane Remover, what a year. I covered Revenge Seekers. Jane threw a water bottle right past my head at about 100 miles per hour in a video that went viral. That was awesome.
She was trying to kill.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Jane wanted me dead. Probably for the review that I wrote of Revenge Seekers, albeit an album that I liked quite a bit. But Jane is extremely bitter about her fan base all over it, which I think is kind of funny. That show was lit as hell, I will say. Jane is not kidding when she says turn up or die. That's definitely the hardest I've gone at any show this year so far. That was lit as hell. I saw Weather Day as well. I'll talk about lit as hell. Weather Day put on a great show here in LA. They've got a great new record out, Hornet Disaster. It's been 6 years since the last Weather Day record, and yeah, I think it's fantastic. Love them both. I'm not gonna advocate any Ada Rook music, but I will say that Ada Rook of Black Justice fame did drop an album earlier this year and a controversial EP, collaborative EP that followed, and now has another album coming out next week, I think. Another collaborative record under a new project. So, busy year for Ada Rook.
Who's she collabing with?
That's all I'll say. Lauren Bonesfeld.
Oh, okay.
Sophie.
New Sophie songs just dropped. It is the 10th anniversary of Product, which is the compilation that was extremely influential to Sophie's sound and to hyperpop. Some of her early, more conventionally like house and electronic music singles were not sort of what people picture when they picture Sophie today, but a lot of the Product songs are where she starts to get down this direction of these very warbling supersaws, some of the defining like sounds of hyperpop music. I love Product. I think it's near perfect. I bought the vinyl that got repressed on vinyl and paid for shipping from the goddamn UK for it. I paid too much for it, but it's Sophie. I'm not going to let another Sophie release pass me by. It actually comes with double-sided posters of all the singles, so all the Sophie slides, which I think there's 10 of them. We got 2 bonus tracks, one of which, Get Higher, is from a Japanese deluxe edition of the original Product CD. So that song has been officially released before. And the other one is Ooh, which is a song she's been playing for years. I think like 2013 is the first time she played it. Finally getting its official, like, final done, mastered version and release. I think it's the same version she played in 2019. I'll quit yapping about Sophie soon. But yeah, we got new slides. 2 new Sophie slides. The first new slides since Unisil in 2020. Oh, yeah. What are those slides? Hold on. Let me look at the slide.
You can now effectively spell Sophie's name using the 2 new slides and all of the other pre-existing slides from Product. You can now pretty much accurately spell Sophie's name with the slides, which is awesome.
Oh, I like that pink slide.
They're good. They're good slides. Both of them.
I have a few that... So, what's it called? That new Umru and Underscores song came out this year. Pop Life.
Banger.
And we went to the Pop Life tour show. That was... it was also Subculture.
Yeah.
Yeah. And let me see. There's the new Frost Children song because they're releasing an album
coming out. Yeah.
I'm a huge Frost Children fan.
Before we're done with Jane Remover, Jane did drop a new Venturing album earlier this year, which is their shoegaze side project. I'll shout out Home Is Where, a friend of my old Polycule house, Tilly. Very like country and folksy flavored rendition of Home Is Where's hardcore sound that I thought was really, really cool. So for like one recommendation that isn't like gay hyperpop music, other than Weather Day, I guess, Ethel Cain with Perverts, an experiment into drone and sort of dark ambient music that was very divisive for a lot of people. But Hayden also has a more conventional album coming out later this year. The lead single for Witch Nettles I like quite a bit. I know that's not really your flavor of music, but I think it's very good.
I like the videos she makes. She just put out a video about her favorite scents, and it's like 2 hours long.
Did any particular scent that she referenced stand out to you?
I didn't really listen to what she said.
You were just looking at her face like, wow.
Yeah.
She's so pretty.
There's also a new Chase Icon album this year. I like it. I know you don't...
I sell records.
Yeah. Yeah.
I heard that single.
I like it. I know you think that type of music is dumb and stupid.
I think that Chase Icon is slightly better than some of the other dumb and stupid music that you listen to. Mm-hmm. She's kind of cool.
Yeah. I think that's enough of music because we got to get to the Pride takes.
Have we covered all music? Like, this is like music is my whole lane. I gotta make sure.
Like that was like 2025 trans music.
Do you want to shout out our friends? Friend of the show, Roxy, your local emo on Instagram and social media, just released a new album, a death rock record, a true classic death rock record. One of those genres that hasn't really had its revival in the same way that post-punk and new wave have. So true to form, old-fashioned Christian death style death rock, but played by a goth tranny from Los Angeles. It's called Brain Dead Dolls is the project. And additional friend of the show, Eve, bass trans girl, just dropped her debut album as Bass Girl. Very interesting, cloudy, electronic project. A lot of Drain Gang influence, some early James Blake. It's glitchy in its production. So go listen to and support our friends, Roxy and Eve. How about that? And then we can draw a line into music.
No. What about
who else?
Tessa Teary Eyes.
Oh, Teary Eyes. Yeah, dropped a sort of like compilation style record of years and years of music, right? Music dating all the way back to 2019, right? That's awesome. And now playing in a band.
Yeah, they're playing a full band show that we're gonna go to.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not missing that. That's oomphy.
Yeah.
I suppose I should shout out Shearling while we're talking about it. Formerly Sprain, now with some new members. Some friends of ours, but more importantly, a friend of ours mastered the record and put a lot of her heart and soul into it. So if you really like experimental hoe-scaring music, like Shushu, Prurient, Swans kind of insane hoe-scaring music, check out the Shearling album because it was mastered by a transsexual that we're quite fond of. Now we can draw a line on the music that we've shouted out all our friends.
Okay.
And we can talk about what was supposed to be the main focus of this podcast, but it's going to end up as the second half, which is Pride discourse. But we're doing it our style. And I'll make this long story short. 2 years ago, I made a post on my meme page, Sissy Allegations, where I invented a bunch of new Pride discourse. People liked it and thought it was pretty good. And then I saw it in my anniversary this year because I checked my sort of archive, my Instagram anniversary to see what I was up to on that day in years past. And we throw these parties at our place semi-regularly where a bunch of trans people come over and hang out and vibe and do stuff. And we have a little whiteboard where we do a lot of polls and questions and the like just to try to provoke discussion throughout the party. And I had the idea to just open form question people to invent new Pride discourse for the month. And I posted it on Sissy Allegations, and you and I now on the podcast are going to take a look at some of the more compelling discourse items and see what we think of them.
Okay, so do you want to start? Maybe you read one off and I'll read it and we'll discuss it, and
Absolutely.
I'll read another one off.
Absolutely. I'm pulling it up right now, and I will start with my contribution. I wrote the first answer on the board, which was that there should be a separate Pride for bi girls with boyfriends.
Yeah, so that's pretty self-explanatory, right? I don't know if there's much to get into there, just like cordon them off, you know?
So you agree with that?
Yeah, or even like maybe no Pride for them.
Because it's so annoying that it's a stereotype at this point for cis bisexual women, or even trans bisexual women, I guess, or
No.
trans
bi and straight women can stay.
to bring their cis boyfriends to Pride with them. Does that complicate it for you? Like, should trans women be allowed to come with their cis boyfriends to enjoy Pride together with the rest of us?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Dating a tranny gives a cis man the Pride pass?
Well, like, I don't know. Dude, I don't know. Just like allies show up to Pride. Like,
That's true,
are we banning allies?
We
We should have written that on the board.
Ban allies from Pride. I'm in favor. I think I'm with you, even though I can't explain it other than in perception of my own taste, because I like trans women so much that even the HSTS girls prostrating themselves for their cis boyfriends should, I guess, be allowed at Pride. But you should have to keep them on a leash.
I agree with that.
You can't just, like, if you bring a cis man
can't
to Pride,
set him loose.
If you bring a cis man to Pride, you can't just let him walk around.
No.
And, like, get, like, you leash or, like, some kind of mechanism that just keeps him in place so that he cannot go get into trouble. Because a rogue, lone cis man at Pride, problem.
He's going to get lost.
Problem. Worse than, I mean, he's going to get in trouble, you know? He's going to fuck up the vibes. He's going to cause problems.
Everybody's going to beat him up.
So if you're bringing your cis boyfriend to Pride, straight women, HSTS women, just put him on a leash. You solve the kink at Pride discourse in one fell swoop, and you get to bring your boyfriend, and he doesn't get to run away and cause problems. That's a win-win solution. I think we just solved that discourse. We can put the cis woman with boyfriend Pride discourse to bed now. We fixed it.
Okay, I think that's a good segue into the next point, which is kink mandatory.
So speaking of teary eyes, this was front woman and main brain of Teary Eyes' contribution to the discourse, I believe. Kink mandatory. That's interesting, right? Because it's like, no. But would you go to a kink mandatory Pride event?
Well, that's just what a play party is, right?
Kink mandatory, though?
Kink I think when you go to a play party, kink is mandatory, right?
I mean, maybe if you're considering just the purest sense of detached voyeurism as kink. Is the photographer at a play party engaging in kink?
Well, it's all kink. Like, he's photographing kink.
Perhaps, yeah. So, what does the kink mandatory discourse make you think of then?
It just means it's a kinky space, right?
So, like, you think at just no holds bar open at, like, a WeHo Pride, at a Pride parade.
Well, this is also like, okay, so these points are supposed to be silly. So, like,
oh, obviously,
this is a silly point, like that. Like, of course, kink isn't going to be mandatory at Pride. Like, how would you enforce that?
What is mandatory? See, the difference here is, like, you're thinking by kink mandatory, you mean like kink is
like if you're
able to be practiced anywhere. When I think kink mandatory, it's like you're walking into Pride and someone puts a gun to your head and they're like, kink now or get the fuck out.
Yeah, like you have to be doing kink.
Perform kink in some way or you are not allowed at Pride.
Well, I was envisioning more of like you entered the kink space and all kink is allowed, like, but the word is mandatory.
Mandatory. Kink is mandatory. You don't have a choice. Kink up or get out.
Yeah, so I guess you have to come prepared with what your kink that you're gonna do is.
I would go to mandatory kink Pride, obviously, in a heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
It's just basically fulsome rules.
Right.
But at Pride, but in June instead of September.
Mm-hmm.
Discourse done.
Okay, what's the next one?
Ding ding. Pro kink and Pride. All Pride should be kink mandatory is the editorial opinion of this podcast. Let me flip through a little bit more discourse here. Oh, I started this one actually at Trans Pride. Switches aren't real.
So what do you mean by that?
When I said that at Trans Pride, mayhaps controversially, what I meant is, now I don't really believe this, but what I meant is that everyone who identifies as a switch is basically a sub-bottom who service tops and service doms because they wouldn't be able to have enough sex otherwise. And they just wish that they were a sub-bottom. But out of the kindness of their heart, they're willing to service dom and service top others. And if they really wanted to be a dom top, they would identify as a dom top. They wouldn't be a switch. That was what I meant by that discourse. Because how many times, how many switches do you know that are basically closet bottoms?
Well, can't you say this for the other way around? Like, can't you just say like, oh, you're just a top who oh my god, this is so confusing.
Have you ever met a dom top who is like, oh, well, there's like so many dom tops around, sometimes it's just like somebody has to be the sub?
Well, that's just not how it works.
Of course not. Because if you're a dom, you're a dom. If you're a top, you're a top.
So, but it doesn't make sense to just be like, okay, hold on. Because there are pure bottoms, right? And there are pure tops.
Yeah.
Are you saying everyone is either a pure top or a pure bottom?
If I was arguing this discourse, I would say everyone who identifies as a pure top is a pure top, and everyone else is a pure bottom who might occasionally service top enough that they think they can call themselves a switch. Both of my girlfriends are included in this categorization, by the way.
Said girlfriend is shaking her head.
She doesn't believe it because she doesn't want to admit that she's bottom.
I
you've seen her sub bottom.
I just don't believe in this binary of there are only tops and bottoms.
There is no such thing as switches. All switches are bottoms.
I disagree with this pride discourse.
I said this drunk at Trans Pride, and people did not like it. I think they thought I was serious, and they got heated about it. It's a great discourse.
I'm gonna start getting heated. Like,
it's a great discourse, man. Switches do not exist, and if you think you're a switch, you're probably just a bottom. You're probably just a bottom who's coping because there aren't enough tops to go around. So you're doing it, and you don't really want to do it, but you're doing it because you know another bottom that's cute, and so you'll top them. But what you want to do is be bottoming for a top.
Dude,
there's not enough tops.
That's how I feel about non-monogamy. Like, to me, like, kill me because you're gonna get mad, but non-monogamy is just a coping mechanism when all I really want is monogamy, but I see a non-monogamous person and I'm like, okay, for you, like...
Okay, but that's for you. That's because you want to be monogamous. The rest of us don't fucking want to be monogamous.
Well, you don't think this applies to switches? Like, not everyone wants to bottom all the time. People do generally want to top sometimes.
Maybe some people. What if I said most switches were just bottoms? And there's a handful of true switches out there.
I'd still be like,
sure?
I'd be like, because, like, I am one of those verse bottoms.
You saying that you're a switch.
Well, I don't really say I'm a switch. I say I'm a verse bottom.
Okay.
Which is honest.
What you are is a bottom.
I'm honest about it.
What you are is a bottom, yeah. If you
no,
were
I'm a verse bottom.
If you were honest about it, you would say I'm a bottom.
No, I'm a verse bottom.
And I service top sometimes because girls like it. That's what
I
you would
top
say.
Sometimes because I want to.
Do you?
You make it sound like a Herculean like trial. But
it's because the thought of topping and wanting to top is so far from my prerogative that it feels Herculean. It feels like that's what it would have to take to top. You know?
Right.
I think if everyone that you ever had a crush on was a top, you would never feel the desire to top again.
I don't think that's true.
Really?
Because, like, well, what if they're a switch? Then I'll want to top them. Oh, my God.
I love this discourse. This is my favorite of all of them. It's so provocative. Every time I've brought it up, it really gets people going.
Because, like, if they're a pure top, then, I mean, no, I don't care anymore. Let's move on.
All right, you want to pick one?
Yeah. Okay, let me look at the list. Oh, my hands are sweaty because you made me mad. Okay, so this one, we kind of touched on this, and this gets me mad, so that's why I'm bringing it up.
Good.
straight T for T shouldn't be allowed at Pride because it's straight. This is just false.
I don't know.
No.
It's straight. It's pride at its fundamentals, at its core.
What's
its
the
ethos.
T? What's the T in the LGBT?
Ethos of pride. I'm playing devil's advocate here, by the way. Is gayness, you know.
It's
so
queerness.
If you're in a straight T for T relationship, what you're doing is performing heteronormativity as trans people.
Okay, what if I'm a butch trans guy what if I'm a feminine trans guy and I'm with a butch T girl? I don't think we're really performing heteronormativity because, like, it's not heteronormative to be, like, a butch girl and a feminine guy.
So do you think a cis, straight, feminine guy and butch girl couple should be allowed at Pride?
Well, yeah.
Even if they're cis and straight?
Wait, you said cis and straight? Sorry.
Cis, straight, male, female, feminine guy,
and
butch woman, should they be allowed at Pride?
Like, they can come as allies that we all, like, make fun of.
Okay, that's fine with me. Straight T for T couples can come to Pride as allies, and we can make fun of them.
No.
You're right, this one does make you mad.
Because, like, straight T for T is all I live for.
That's why I get up in the morning. It's why I breathe and check that shit into my veins. Obviously, I feel like any trans person is welcome at Pride. I want to make that very clear for you autistic people out there. I don't believe this, truly. I'm just making the case. But it's more of a compelling case to me than it is to you. That's for sure.
All right, moving on.
Before you crush your microphone in the palm of your hands. So I wrote a second one, actually. Someone couldn't come up with one, so I came up with one. And it's that AGP stands for Age Gap Pride. We did a whole episode on age gaps and my affinity for them in the last episode. Do you think that age play and siscon are included in the umbrella of Pride if performed by people who belong at Pride?
Well, yes. I mean, anything performed by queer people belongs at Pride.
Anything? Race play?
I don't know what to say about that one.
Ooh, yeah, like, you're treating age play and siscon like they're a shoo-in.
Because, I mean, well, this is kink at Pride discourse.
It's specific kink at Pride discourse, you know?
Well, I mean, am I going to say something if they're doing siscon in the kink tent at Dyke Day? I don't think so.
Good point. Nor should you, in my opinion. Let the sisters cook. That's what I would do. Okay. I have nothing more to say on that. I'm pro kink at Pride, even in the circumstances that it may be controversial within the realm of whatever other kinks are being performed at Pride.
I mean, you'll definitely see age gap couples at Pride.
I took my, not that we're like a drastic age gap couple, but I took my 5-6 year age gap couple to Pride. 6
years? That's
not
really. I feel like that's not really an age. Depending on the ages, I feel like it's not really an age gap.
I would take a way more drastic age gap relationship to Pride. Let me say that. I would not let a large age gap keep me from being visibly in a relationship and going to Pride together. That's what I'll say.
Mm-hmm.
Nor, like, my sisters in a kink sense are both like long distance, but nor would it prevent me from taking either of them to Pride and performing cis-con kink with them while there.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely know girls who would do cis-con at Pride.
Yeah,
so like,
yeah, and probably do. Not even would. I
mean,
you
they
see
do.
It. Yeah, I was invited to it last year.
Mm-hmm. So, like, that's fine.
That's really most of the good ones.
Yeah, that was, like, the main ones. There's there's some kind of references in here, like trans people shouldn't be Christian. Yeah, I actually want to cut that entire conversation from the podcast.
All of it?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I don't like it.
It's too personal?
Yeah, I just don't like it.
Wow. Okay, well, at some point around the time that you ask me to cut all of that, I guess, is when we'll pop back in.
Okay.
So, they don't know that we're about to pivot to a lighter note, but let's pivot to a lighter note, I guess, and keep the recording going for lost time.
Okay.
Because there's one more piece of discourse that I want to talk about on here, and it's a funny one. One that I liked immediately as soon as I read it, which came from the boy the story that I told at the very beginning. He wrote, "No dogs, only pups at Pride."
Mm-hmm.
Which meaning no literal actual pet dogs allowed at Pride, but the performance of pet play, be it as puppy girl, as like a leather pup mask, or as a furry, is welcome at Pride. And you know what? I kind of like that. I kind of think it's funny. I feel like it would be funny to walk around Pride and not see any white women with a cis boyfriend and a dog, but see trans women with dog girls on leashes and gay leather boys with little leather pups following them around. Like pups at Pride. I don't know if we need dogs at Pride. Would you miss dogs if they weren't at Pride?
I would miss the dogs. Why can't we have both? I mean, we kind of do, right?
But you already have both, yeah.
Well, this is kind of going back to kink mandatory.
Right. Do you ever see a white woman with a dog at Pride and think that she's like with the dog at Pride?
I don't have those thoughts.
I don't have those thoughts either.
Do you think that should be a form of pride in itself?
Do you think white women who are into bestiality are allowed at Pride? And if so, are they allowed to bring their dogs?
Like, what if the dog's a girl?
So they're lesbian bestiality? Yeah. I think that's allowed at Pride. It's lesbian.
Dude, this is what conservatives, like, say that gay people are doing.
Yeah, exactly. And, like, some of us are, but it's a small minority for sure.
Well, not the real dogs, right?
I think the people who are fucking real dogs don't identify as queer and go to Pride.
Right.
So, I don't think that's our battle to fight.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, however, for the record, that a friend of mine that I talked to at Dyke Day was wearing a doggy strap with a knot to Pride Day.
That's cool.
And I think wrestled with it.
Like full, like...
Pretty cool.
Like hard mode, like not like...
I don't think they were fucking anybody with it, but I think they were wearing it and they were like wrestling.
Right, wouldn't it kind of get in the way? Like it doesn't go soft.
I think part of the wrestling at Pride thing is the like obvious, sexual domination of someone else. So like if you're like a strong, huge trans mask and you're wrestling some little like bimbo Amazon Basics like 1 year on E girl and you know that you're gonna pin her and she's gonna find that sexy, just keep the strap on. You could do it anyway. And then you're like, then it's there and you're on top of her and the crowd is cheering and hooting and hollering.
And do you poke her with it?
Surely, right? How could you not? The concentration and the restraint that it would take not to poke her with it, I don't think anyone on T could hold back.
Mm-hmm.
That's my opinion. Is there anything else on that Pride discourse little window that you want to talk about? There's some goofy ones in here that are not real. Like someone wrote that a 1 month difference in a relationship is an inappropriate age gap. I thought that was kind of funny. It's okay to dead name cis people.
Oh.
I think it should be okay to kill cis people if they come to Pride and they shouldn't be there. I think you should just be allowed to shoot them.
I wrote that one because I was thinking of like Kanye West.
You should be allowed to call him Kanye.
Yeah, and like not
Sure.
yay.
Right behind that. Totally agree with that. T for T is problematic. I have no idea through what lens you could possibly make that argument. Clearly someone wrote that as a joke, but it kind of reminds me of like you see on Twitter people making arguments that are like, oh, like if trans people are so attractive, how come they're not dating each other? And it's like, girl, look around, like this whole shit is T for T. What are you talking about? Monogamy Pride is down there too.
I wrote that as well.
Yeah.
Underneath poly is unsustainable. Can we talk about that one?
Yeah, I mean, sure. It's wrong. I mean, there's like tons of, extremely long running open and polyamorous relationships. Before polyamory was called polyamory, people were doing it all the time, and it wasn't really a big deal to anyone. The sort of free love movements of decades past. So yes, the answer is yes, it is sustainable.
I wrote monogamy pride because I feel like we're an oppressed community in the LGBT movement.
This is like reverse racism. It's monogamous people who are being oppressed, who are really being oppressed. When you pare it all down, it's the monogamous people that are the underclass. Poly people have had it too good for too long.
Yeah, with all them hoes. We need to knock them down a peg. A peg for each partner.
So I'm 2 pegs down, 3 pegs down now?
Yeah.
Damn. I gotta start climbing back all those pegs.
If you knock a monogamous person's pegs down, they only have 1 peg.
What is this metaphor? What does this mean? So, like, I'm standing on 3 pegs right now. You're standing on no pegs. And you think that I should also
She just called me bitchless.
You think that I should also be standing on no pegs right now?
No comment.
Would you go to a pride function that was like a monogamy party?
What would that look like?
If Akbar threw a pride night for monogamous people, and it was a dance party, it was a ticketed event that was for queer people, for monogamous queer people only, would you go to the Akbar monogamy night?
I mean, I'm monogamous, so yeah.
That's the most embarrassing thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Just because it's like, well, like, not like genuinely, but like if you go to like a speed dating event, there will be like monogamous and non-monogamous people there, right? But like, what if there was only monogamous people there? Then I don't have to look at the non-monogamous people. They don't have to like break my heart.
So you're going to this? Would you go to monogamous speed dating?
Yeah.
Would you go to anywhere that was gate kept to be only monogamous people because you want to meet monogamous people so bad? Is that what you're saying?
I guess so, yeah.
Embarrassing.
Dude,
I was over here talking about how we need a monogamy-only water fountain. Monogamy-only movie theater. You are not oppressed.
I would hate to go to the... Actually, I go to the non-monogamy pride every night here.
Every single day of your life is non-monogamy pride.
This is what I'm talking about.
Other monogamous people.
This is what I'm talking about.
You just have to go out and find your monogamous people. They're out there. They post on Lex, on the Lex app every once in a while. Surely, I mean...
Dude, she left me.
There's plenty of Tinder queers out there. Go to like a queer knitting club. Go play mahjong with the monogamous Wasian Tinder queers.
That's me.
Exactly. Go out and find your monogamous community. I'm sure it's out there.
Okay.
And keep that shit way the fuck away from me and my friends and my girlfriends, please.
I'm not trying to get with your girlfriends as the monogamous person here.
Good.
That's not true. I'm with one of your girlfriends.
You're with one of my girlfriends regularly, but I don't think you're trying to entrap her monogamously.
Wouldn't it be so funny if I did that?
I don't really get mad very often, or really ever. I would be mad as shit.
Dude, if I stole your woman...
I would be so mad. Not like... If you started dating her, I would think that was awesome. I think that was really cute that we shared a girlfriend. I would... No,
monogamously.
That would be perfect. If you started dating her monogamously, I'm moving out. Like, I can't... that's crazy. That's sick. That's sick. Any of my fucking 3 girlfriends
that
start
would
dating you monogamously, it's over.
That would be straight up theft. Like, you'd have to kill me.
Forget about it. Imagine how you would feel if I made a monogamous girlfriend that you had and were with Polly.
Oh, I'd kill myself.
If the reverse happened, I would kill you. So that's awesome. Well, that's a wrap. I think we solved all pride discourse. I think we invented new pride discourse and then solved that.
Great.
What more could you want out of a pride episode?
What a beautiful pride we've envisioned for ourselves.
I know. I cannot wait for SysCon Pride 2026. Okay, I'm Lavender.
I'm Lex.
And this is Goodnight from your friendly Brain Frot hosts. Mwah.
Bye.